Salutations, everybody. It is your girl Shadara, and today in this video, we're going to be talking about how to change our mindsets from a negative one to a more positive one. Okay, and this whole thing is I'm speaking from experience and a little bit of research your girl did. Okay, but trigger warning. I'm gonna let y'all know. Trigger warning right here, right now. Most of my life, my brain has been wired to be negative. This Friday, thank God I turned 29. Okay, this Friday. It is Monday. So this Friday I turned 29. All right. So more years than not of my 29 years on this earth have been spent with me being negative as fuck. Like, my brain has been hardwired to be negative since I was a child. I remember having my first panic attack when I was 4. Okay. So more years than not, I have been in a negative mindset. And so it wasn't until my early 20s. Literally, I was 20, almost 21. I think I said this in the last video, but anyway. So when I was 20, about to be 21, I had sat there and I was like, I'm ready to, I'm ready to kick the bucket. So I sat there, I was crying in my bathroom, and I was like, God, just give me a sign. I got a sign, and I was like, I need motherfucking help. So that's what I did. I went and got help. But that's just the start of it, right? Getting that help. And because I had got that help, and oh my gosh, side note, I remember the doctor I went to, the nurse, he was like, I have a daughter around your age. Like, he was very sad, right? But the doctor, like, that was the nurse, the doctor, they have the audacity to be like, well, you're 21 and, you probably just feel that way because you still live with your parents. Hello? Bitch, I'm ready to end myself. And you're going to tell me it's because I live at home? Okay, like, awful. People like that should not be in fucking health. They should not be in that position. That's besides the point, right? So, I just sat there. I was like, is this motherfucker serious? But anyway, so yeah, 21, like, that was the start. They put me on medication, and the medication helped. But I was like, I want coping mechanisms. I want to be able to, like, I felt like a zombie afterwards. I was like, I want to be able to sit there and, like, deal with this on my own, right? Like, I don't want to have to rely on medication. Now, if you rely on medication, there is nothing wrong with that, okay? Everybody is different. Everybody is different. I feel like having coping mechanisms is really great. Because if you're like, okay, my medication's lacking, I have to wait for this appointment, and you're kind of in between, or you don't have access to medication, or even just coping mechanisms are great. If you have to use medications and coping mechanisms, I am not motherfucking judging you. And I'm telling you right here, right now, if anybody tries to judge you on that shit, oh, you on medication? Yeah, bitch, I gotta be, ho. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Don't let anybody ever try to tell you or talk you out of doing what the fuck you know is best for you. Because at the end of the day, it is what? It is your body. You do what the fuck is best for you, baby. Okay? But anyway, I digress. I can get into it. Okay? But anyway, it took a long time for me to even be in this mindset that I'm in now. Right? Because like I said, most of my life, that was 2021, not the year 2021. I was 20 or 21 years old in like 2016. So all those years ago, like what, like 8 years ago, up until that point, I really wasn't in a fully positive mindset until it didn't really start until I was like 24, 25. But at 24, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Like, they're like, yeah, bitch, you got ADHD. And I was like, I motherfucking knew it. So it's my mental health journey, right? And I'm not here to just talk about my mental health journey, but this may help somebody. So my mental health journey it's been a lot. This has been most of my 20s is my mental health journey. And I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful for being able to recognize there's something more. I need something better. I need, through all the fog, the depression fog, the anxiety. My anxiety used to be so bad that I would have nightmares. I would have probably night terrors, really, is what they were. Because I would sit there and I would like have nightmares about giving exorcisms and ghosts and all this other crazy shit. And I'm like, can I just live? Like, I would have panic attacks in my sleep. I would wake up mid panic attack. That's how bad that shit was, right? So, I'm speaking fully from experience, and y'all know me. I am fully transparent. I am fully open because if I'm going through it, other people are going through it. I always say that. And not everybody is desensitized. I've desensitized myself to a lot of these topics because they gotta be talked about. People don't want to talk about them. They want to think it's taboo, and we ain't got time for that shit. Now, I really digressed. That was a side note of the side note of the side note. Okay, so getting back to the main point. So, switching our negative mindset to a positive one. It takes time. You're not going to be able to do it like that. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not going to be like that. You have to give yourself patience. You have to give yourself time. You have to be kind and gentle to yourself, because there are going to be moments where you slip back, where you're like, why the fuck? Like, I have those moments, bro. It's not very often. It's like when I am heavily stressed, like I've been under mental strain, burnt the fuck out. Why am I taking care of everybody and nobody's taking care of me type shit? Like, and I'll be like, oh my God, like my brain will try to go back to those negative ways of thinking, that how my brain has been hardwired to think, which is being negative as fuck. Okay, I want to hurt myself. Right? I don't take this type of shit lightly either. Oh, haha, I never understand why people walk around saying that they're gonna kill themselves. Shut the fuck up with that shit. Like, seriously, I know some people are like, oh, it's a joke, but no, like, that's not a fucking joke. I don't take that shit lightly, because I've been there. I know people who actually went there. You feel me? Like, that's not some quirky, funny ass joke, bitch. Shut the fuck up with that shit. I literally saw something where I'm so off topic right now, but I literally sat there and I saw somebody talk about how they were in the store, and it was a tweet. I was in the store talking about I was gonna, I kept saying, oh man, because of these prices, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm a da da da. And this concerned old lady was like, are you okay? Like, genuinely thought this person was gonna shut the fuck up saying that shit. That shit is not funny. I was on the phone talking to my friend about it. And even if you sitting here saying, that's why I say you gotta watch how you talk to yourself. Because if you talking to yourself like that, even if you joking, your brain is registering it as that real shit. If you understand and have processed what KMS is, your brain is sitting there like, yeah, maybe we should. Like, be for real, bitch. Okay? Anyway, I digress. Digress of the digression. Like, y'all know me. Like, I don't play about that shit. Because people be like, oh, they're just crying for help. You really stopped everything. Yeah, bitch. And I'll do it again. I don't care. It'd be 3 a.m. You call my ass, be like, I would just really need help. This is how I'm feeling. I want to hurt myself. Baby, I am waking the fuck up and be like, all right, well, what do we got to do? What do we got to do to make sure that you don't feel this way no more? Because I've been there. And especially when you feel so fucking alone. The fuck? I don't take that shit lightly. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right here, right now. I don't take that shit lightly. Okay. So, getting back to the point. It's 10 minutes. Getting back to the point. So, how to change your negative mindset to a more positive one. I have not named these tips. I don't write shit down. This is straight from the dome. Okay. So the first big thing is being able to identify what triggers you. Like, you have to truly want to be aligned with yourself. And you're going to be assessing yourself this whole process. And this is a never ending process, to be honest with you. This is a never ending process. Okay. So you have to align yourself and be ready to come in alignment with yourself. You're going to have to assess yourself. And not in the way, when you're thinking negatively, like your depression, like really bad, and you think really lowly of yourself, you sit there and you were already over assessing yourself. You were overly critical of yourself. So you were sitting there and you're like, oh my God, like, no, I shouldn't have done, oh, why would, oh my God. Bro, I need you to be really kind and gentle with yourself. Yes, assess, sit there and be like, damn, I could have said that better. Man, that didn't come out right. Being able to assess yourself is still giving yourself, what's the fucking word? It's giving yourself grace. Okay? It's not you being hard on yourself. Oh, I'm a dumbass. You can't. No, you have to cut all self-deprecation in any type of way, shape, or form. Because you ain't going to be out here talking about, first and foremost, drink your motherfucking water. Get some hydration up in your system, bitch. Okay? But also, and eat. That's the second thing. But also, you got to sit there and you can't be mean to yourself. You can't be doing that stupid ass self-deprecation, especially as jokes. And then part of that KMS shit is, oh, self-deprecating humor. Ha 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 ha. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. I don't play with that shit. I don't play with that shit at all. Because it's not funny. It's not a joke. What is so funny about wanting to fucking hurt yourself? Or calling yourself a dumbass? Or wanting to, like, really? When you think like that and you're like, oh my God, I'm such a dumbass. Like, you mean it. That's why it's not funny. You have to talk to yourself more positive. You gotta be, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Okay? And at first, I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, you gonna sit there and you gonna be like, I don't deserve it. Shut up. I'm gonna put it bluntly. Shut the hell up. Because you do deserve it. I always say, y'all know it's coming. Look at yourself in the mirror. In the eyes in the mirror. And say, I love you. I love myself. You are a great person. I see you trying your hardest. Even if you start crying. Listen, I've done it a whole bunch of times. Crying. Okay? Me, when I started doing that, I didn't believe it. Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it, baby, okay? So, but because once you start speaking more positive to yourself, you're gonna be able to stop those bullshit ass negative thoughts, right? And that's a part of coming aligned, like aligning yourself, right? Aligning yourself to yourself, becoming in tune with yourself type shit. Because if you sit there and you're constantly like, oh man, Ulta, shut up. If you're constantly negative towards yourself, you are going to start believing those thoughts. Like, if y'all have never looked up those videos or seen those experiments where somebody talks really negative to a plant and then they talk really positive to a different plant, and you see the difference. Those positive affirmations to the positive speaking plant, that plant grows and thrives. But the plant that's being told negative ass shit to, being bullied and shit, you bullying yourself. It doesn't grow. I need you to understand that you fucking bullying yourself if you out here talking that negative about yourself. Why would you do that? Nobody likes to be bullied. So why the fuck would you bully yourself? Like, be for real. Think about it that way. Fuck, I'm being an ass to myself. You don't deserve it. You are not a terrible person like you fucking think you are. I need you to understand that. You are not a fucking terrible person. Because that's the issue. Right? That's what I used to think. I'm so awful. I'm a fucking awful person. I'm so terrible. Because I was made to believe that. Damn, there's something wrong with me because people treat me like this. Baby, it's called having boundaries. And when you are a people pleaser, you don't got motherfucking boundaries. Or you've never been taught, like, if you've been taught to not have boundaries, you're not gonna know what the fuck a boundary is. You feel me? Like, as a kid, that was something like, you know, like, parents is like, listen, a lot of people, their parents don't believe in boundaries. You don't need a lock on your door. You don't, why you need to close your door? Why you need privacy? Because I'm a person, bro. What kind of stupid ass shit is that? Right? So a lot of people growing up, they don't have those boundaries. They don't understand what boundaries are. They're not taught boundaries. So when you've grown up like that, you're not used that. And really think about a lot of people too. I feel like I'm off. Like, I am not even on the point anymore. But a lot of people sit there and they learn how to speak and think of themselves from their parents. Okay. And you know it's true, right? Because if your parents don't talk highly of themselves and they don't know how to talk highly of you, they're not going to, right? Oh, wow, great job. Or, you know, you remember being a kid and it's like, look what I did. Look what I did. I got you this. I blah, 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 blah. Wow, thanks. You know, as a kid, you know how it is talking to kids. Oh, wow, good job, buddy. It's gorgeous. Thank you. Right? And then you don't see it, like, especially when you got siblings, you don't see it in the same places that your sibling, they put your sibling shit. Okay, I made you a picture and you didn't put that shit on the fridge, but you got my siblings picture on the fridge. What the fuck? Right? Kids are not stupid. And you know that because you were a fucking child. You watching, listening, whatever you doing. You can't tell me that you don't know that because you were a child. You remember how you felt as a child. I think I need to turn my game down. So you remember how it was being a child and what you had to go through as a child with your parents, with your guardian, whoever raised you, right? Excuse me, if they didn't raise you right, in the sense of they talk down on you, you're not gonna know how to talk up yourself. How you gonna hype yourself up, right? Because that's literally how it was. I remember that growing up. I remember being like 4 or 5 and like seeing Lenny Kravitz's drummer. And she had all this hair. I had all this hair. Like, I didn't cut my hair until I was like 18, 19. So I was like 4 or 5 and I saw she had all this hair. I was like, she looks like me. This is also why representation matters, bitch. So I was like, she looks like me. I want to be a drummer, right? That was my dream as a child, was to be a drummer. Okay. Like, so I remember like going up and telling my mom, I want to be a drummer. Like, I want to, and she just laughed. She's like, oh, that's funny. What the fuck is funny about that? You know, like, what is so funny about that? Right? And as people really think that they kids don't process emotions or that they're not going to remember that shit. Of course I remember that. I had determined right then and there that's what I was going to do with the rest of my fucking life. And then you throw that shit to the side. Why? Why? Why would that? And it made me feel fucking awful. So a lot of people, like, the way that you speak about yourself and you talk to yourself and you talk down on yourself is because of how you grew up. And you can't tell me that I'm not that I'm lying, because I know I'm not. I know that's what it is for a lot of people, because their parents weren't confident in themselves, their parents didn't hype them up, so you don't know how to hype yourself up. Okay? So that's where it really starts. So let's get to the point. All right, getting into it yourself, and you're gonna have to assess yourself. You're going to have to reflect on past actions, and it can be so cringy at first. Like, I don't believe in cringe at this point, right? But it literally physically makes you cringe, right? And you sit there and you're like, oh my God, I did this. Like, oh my God, I reacted. But I need you to understand that when you react like that, that's a sign of, okay, well, I know how to be better. That's a sign of growth. Damn, why the fuck? Because at the time when you acted like that, you thought that was the best thing to do. You didn't know any better. But now you know better, and that's why you react that way when you think back, when you're reflecting on your past actions. Because you're like, ugh, bitch, ill. Like, yuck. Why would I act that way? Right? Because you didn't know any better. That's the best that you knew at the time. And you being able to reflect and see, physically cringing at this because I know what to do better now, that's a good sign. That means you're growing, okay? Don't be hard on yourself. You got to be gentle. You got to be kind to yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. I always say that. You got to be patient with yourself, okay? So in this process, you're going to have to reflect and assess past actions, and not to the point where you like talk down on yourself on those actions. That's hold up. That's a really good place to start. You'd be like, oh, because I've done this where it's like, oh, you cringe, you don't want to think about it anymore. Just put that in a box. I don't want to think about it. But you have to think about it, right? You have to think about those past actions. And when you're thinking about those past actions, I need you to sit there and be like, even through the cringe, even like, ugh, oh my God, you have to sit there and you have to give yourself grace. You have to sit there and you have to be like, okay, yes, while thinking about this now makes me physically want to just curl up in a ball, I know that I'm growing. I know what to do now in that scenario, in similar situations now. And I will never react like that again. And then you take that and you chuck it because you don't need it no more. Like, I literally, what I say my process is with this shit is you process it, you heal from it, and then you let the bitch go because you don't need to hold on to it anymore. You don't. What the fuck is there to hold on to? I remember this memory. Okay, I've processed it. I've healed from it. You know, I've grown from it. I know what to do now. And then that bitch gets chucked elsewhere because there's no reason for you to. It's called ruminating. Okay, I did research. Last year, I did research, right? It's called ruminating. You ruminate on certain scenarios and things that you don't need to fucking ruminate on. You do not need to sit there and just think about it over and over and over and over. Process it and let the bitch go. Okay? You don't need it no more. You don't need that shit anymore, baby. I'm telling you. Okay? So, that's that, right? So you're assessing yourself, but in a healthy way. You have to assess yourself in a healthy way. You can't just immediately be like, you're so stupid. Why would you say that? Do you know how silly that is? Would you say that to a child? Like, really think about it like that. Really, like, honestly. Think about the age you were when you're assessing when you did something. It doesn't matter. You have to, if you would give a person of that age grace, why wouldn't you give yourself grace at that age? Even if it's like, I'm a grown person, I would still like, okay, well, things that I did at 27 or 28, I'm still technically 28, but I'm about to be 29, like I said. So at 27 or 28, I'd be like, well, you're still growing. Like, I'm not gonna yell. Like, you're an adult. You don't like being yelled at. You don't like being talked down to by anybody else. So why the fuck would you talk down to yourself on some real shit? Like, why would you do that? Why? And then if you're thinking and reflecting on past actions from when you were a child, like, I need you to realize, you being a teenager, I'm in high school. You are a child in high school. Okay? You are a child in middle school and elementary school. So why would you not give a child grace when they don't know any better? Like I said, you were always growing. So give yourself grace with that shit. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Damn, I'm glad I know what to do better now. And then you keep it pushing because there's no reason for you to keep it. There's no reason for you to stay stuck on that shit. Okay? So, and with self-reflecting, also look into, like, what caused you to react that way in that scenario, right? Okay, so if I remember correctly, this happened this day, and I was overstimulated that day. That's why I had that outward reaction. Okay, cool. Now I know what to do in this scenario. Chuck it. I've processed it, I've healed from it, and I'm letting it go. Okay? Letting go is a lot easier said than done, but you have to let shit go. Sometimes you have to physically sit there and be like, God, like, literally, what I do, I'll be like, God, I let go and I let God. I put it in your hands because this ain't my business anymore. This ain't got shit to do with me anymore. And then I keep it pushing. Sometimes, whatever helps you, whatever, if you believe in a higher being, if you gotta even just journal that shit, even if you just gotta say it out loud, I let this go from my heart. You physically, like, if you gotta, like, act like you physically picking it up and chucking it out the window, baby, do what you gotta do. It don't gotta make sense to anybody else but you. So don't sit there and be like, oh, but people look at me weird. Who give a fuck what other people think? We don't got time for that shit. Life is too short for that shit. Hell no. Hell to the no. Okay? So, literally, process it, heal from it, and let it go. And when you're thinking on scenarios, just think about, okay, if I was really angry that day, what made me angry? I don't want to be angry anymore. So what are things that make me angry? This is a big part in changing your mindset to be more positive. I know it's like, Shadara, did you lose the point? No, baby, it all comes back together. I promise, right? It always does. So you have to, a big part of like changing a negative mindset into a positive one is being able to identify what triggers you. That's a big fucking thing. Because if you are always negative, if you're always talking down to yourself, what happened during the day to make you talk down on yourself? Process that. Think about that for a second. What made you sit there and think down on yourself to that degree? To talk down to yourself to that degree? What made you think like that? Like, that's what I did. I think after I got off the medication, I was like, this shit made me feel like a zombie. Like, I literally am on airplane mode. Ugh. Like, I sat there and I was like, well, let me identify what triggers me. Okay, this makes me really anxious and it makes me have a panic attack. So what happened in between? I was good in the morning, and then once 2 p.m. hit, I was having a panic attack. So what happened in between the morning and me having a panic attack? Okay, this dumb shit, that's what it is. Shit like that triggers me. But that takes time. I need you to understand this is not going to be a process that you do within even a year. In a year, if you stick with the process, you will see a big fucking difference. But this is not, it's not going to just, oh, I'm now fully positive, bitch, within a year. That's not how it works. Okay. So you have to be gentle and kind and patient. I know. Patience, ew. I know. I know. That's literally how I was. I was like, patience. I have to be patient with myself. Being patient with yourself is so, I love being patient. I've grown into patience. Because it's like, what the fuck am I rushing for? There ain't no motherfucking rush, bitch. I'm going to keep it. And the more you try to rush something, the more you try to make something happen, it's not going to happen. You're going to push it away more. Okay? Don't do that shit. So, being able to identify what triggers you helps you change your mindset into a more positive one. Because you can identify what triggers me. And when I get triggered, how do I feel? Right? So, understanding what makes you feel a certain way is you being more in tune with your emotions. You understanding your emotions. And that's the biggest thing is you want, baby, you want to be in tune with your emotions. You want to understand your emotions because letting them pile up and build up they're going to blow over. They're going to boil over. Okay. And then it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's just I don't know what happened. It's just, I got caught on the door handle and just started crying and wanting to punch the door. Well, it's probably because you was letting all this other bullshit just pile and stack. Okay. So you want to be in tune with your emotions and understand why you feeling the way you feeling, which, like I said, this whole process takes time. Okay. So you're identifying, okay, this makes me upset. So now that you know that what your triggers are, you're going to want to identify what triggers what emotion. Okay. And if you didn't grow up being able to identify or being taught like this is what this emotion is, like this is what this looks like, or not being allowed to feel your emotions, this can be a difficult process, right? Only because you may think you're angry when in reality you're anxious. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of emotions are going to show themselves as irritability or anger. Okay. When I learned that, I was like, hold the fuck up, bitch. So anytime I felt myself getting angry or irritable, I would be like, wait. Am I really angry? Am I really irritable right now? Or am I anxious about something? And whole time a bitch was anxious. And then I would just start crying because I was like, oh, okay, this is what it was. I'm not tripping, right? So a lot of times you're just irritable. It's anxious. And your anxiousness, or it doesn't have to just be anxiousness that comes out as irritability or anger. So identify, okay, I'm really irritable right now. What's going on? Am I feeling something else? Is there something? You have to be able, that's part of self-assessing. That's why you got to be able to self-assess and be able to understand what may trigger you. Oh, damn, yesterday I was around a lot of people and I have social anxiety, or I get really overstimulated in big areas. or around a lot of people. Okay, so that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like that's being able to identify your triggers helps you identify what emotions may come with those triggers. Okay, so you're gonna sit there, and even if you got listen, like I said, a lot of people they were not able to feel their emotions growing up. They were not allowed, right? I'm gonna give you something to cry about. Bitch, I can't just cry on my bed. Be for real, right? So even if you have to sit there and you have to watch, like, I know that there are YouTube videos and there's everything up on the internet. So even if you have to do your research and watch videos on, like, this is typically what anger is, this is typically what happiness is, this is whatever these emotions are. And then okay, so I figured out usually if I'm feeling like this, that's usually when I'm angry, or this is how I am when I'm happy. And then so something I started doing, which helped me so much, right, is, and it actually happened because I saw a tweet where, a guy was like, anytime his daughter was super happy, she would just be like, I am happy. And I'm like, that makes so much sense. Because when you say things out loud, your brain is going to process it easier. Okay. So at least I feel like that makes sense. So, so I started doing that. I'm really happy right now. I'm really sad. Man, I'm annoyed. This annoys me. Man, this pisses me off. Saying it out loud allows you to process what you are feeling, like that emotion right there in the moment. Okay, even if you just say it to yourself. Oh man, whew, I'm upset. I am disappointed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, saying it out loud, just being able to identify clear cut what that is easier for you to process what the fuck that emotion is. Okay. Not everybody's gonna be like that. You find out what works best for you. But I feel like a great starting point is sitting there and, ooh, like I'm so like, ugh. I'm annoyed right now. Just saying out loud. It helps you process what you're feeling. And then, like I said, you being able to know what your triggers are, lets you and know what your emotions are and how you feel with certain ways, helps you process what triggers what emotion for you. Okay. So how does this all go into, right? It's between 32 minutes in the video. Thank you for sticking around if you're still here. So what sits there and what? How does how does this help you to change your negative mindset to a more positive one, right? It all goes together because when you're able to be more in tune with your emotions, then you can, like I said, you're able to understand what triggers what emotion, okay? And also, if you're really angry, you can sit there and identify, I'm really sad, and that's why I start saying really negative shit. So it's not the fact of, oh man, I'm just to make sure I'm not sad. That's not possible. Like, one of my homegirls, she said a couple years ago, she was like, you can't have negativity without positive. You can't have negative without positive. You can't have positive without negative. That just doesn't make any sense. That's just not how it works. You know what I mean? There's a balance. Like, in Star Wars, how they said that Anakin was going to balance the force, like he was going to bring balance to the force. He was on the dark side, and come on now, think about it, right? It's the same scenario. Okay, so that's legitimately what it is you need to be able to identify your emotions, identify what triggers those emotions, and then if you during certain emotions talk more negatively about yourself than other emotions, you can really, okay, well, when I'm angry, I'm not trying to hear shit. I can barely think. Change that behavior. It's all a part of rewiring your brain to just be better, to just grow as a person. You want a more positive mindset. You got to stop thoughts in the process. Okay, this is a negative thought. I'm out here thinking about hurting myself. That is not cool. That is not fucking cool. Stop that shit. I don't want to hurt myself. I'm just really angry right now. That's why you need to be able to identify like your emotions, what triggers those emotions. Because if you know that when you get angry, you start saying off the wall shit like I'ma hurt myself, I'ma hurt you. Stop that shit right then and there. That's a no-no. That's a no. Put your ass in timeout, okay? Because that's what I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't get angry. Last time I got angry, which was the first time in a long ass time, was like a week ago, and I started shaking, and I was able to calm myself down. Okay, so, but I was able to identify that's how I was feeling. Whereas in my early 20s, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, so I was able to identify. I was fucking shaking, right? I was able to identify. I'm angry. I need to, like, I'm like, take a couple deep breaths, bitch. Okay, and then I was good, but I was able to identify that self because I put that work in. I made sure I can identify my emotions, right? So if you're angry, like, but when I get overstimulated, bitch, leave me the fuck alone. I lock myself in my room for a reason. Don't talk to me. Don't hit me up. My phone going on do not disturb. I don't want to hear a damn thing. Okay? I need to be by myself. That's why you need to be able to identify, like, what works for you. Because if you know, okay, this is triggering this emotion where I'm angry, and I know I can say some crazy ass shit when I'm angry, when I'm upset, when I'm whatever, let me lock myself in my room. I need to go sit the fuck down. Let me go take a nap, bitch. The fuck. You know what I mean? So, and this all helps with a more positive mindset because you're identifying the ways where, like, those are negative emotions. And if you're always in a negative emotion, saying crazy shit in negative emotions, then you need to stop that. Like I said, and it's called fucking cognitive behavioral therapy, right? I forgot why I had to look this shit up. I forgot why it's for like a speech or something I did last semester. Whatever, that's not the point. So cognitive behavioral therapy, which is some shit that your girl has done before. Like, first and foremost, I just recommend therapy to everybody, whether it's like I have traumatic ass shit or not. It's a good experience, even if it's like, man, like, I just need some coping mechanisms. I need some healthy coping mechanisms, right? So, but cognitive behavioral therapy consists of it's kind of an umbrella term, and it consists of just like stopping thoughts in the process. So if you have a negative thought, I don't want to hurt myself. I'm angry right now. You know what I mean? That's whatever, like, I hate myself. I don't hate myself. I'm really fucking sad right now. And when I've been sad in the past, people have made me feel as if I should hate myself. Or I've made myself feel like I should hate myself. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like it took me a long time to get to this point, but I hope y'all get what the fuck I'm saying. So it's just a lot. Like, with a topic like this, it's a lot. Okay, so, but that's what it is. Like, sit there and being able to identify why you feel the way you feel so that you could properly process the way that you're feeling. So that you could be like, okay, I really don't want to hurt myself. Like, your emotions are coming out as self-deprecation. They're coming out as you saying, I hate myself. I want to hurt myself. I'm a dumbass. You're not. You're not. And deep down in your gut, deep down in your heart, you know you're not. Sometimes you will believe it because that's all you've known. That's all you've been told. That's, but you're really not. That's why you got to look at yourself like, I'm not a dumbass. Whew. I'm not a dumbass. I'm actually quite fucking smart. And I always, listen, I'm being really silly right now. That's what I've replaced it to. Because silly it's just like, oh, I'm being really silly right now. Like, I've even when it's like, man, you're stupid, like, joking around. I don't even say that. I'll catch myself. Like, no, I don't want to say this person's stupid when they're being silly. Man, you're being really silly. You are goofy. That is so funny. I've just been saying what it is because I don't want anybody to sit there and be like, damn, they said I was stupid. I don't want to be called stupid, even if it's like, oh, like, you're so funny with how you're joking. And I know some people be like, oh, you're just sensitive. No, you don't know what the fuck other people are going through. You don't. Literally, like, when I was at my worst mentally, and I would have people be like, oh, you're so weird. That shit did not feel good. They'd be like, oh, you're a good weird. But it didn't feel good because in the same breath, oh, you're a good weird, they would turn around and say, oh, so-and-so's weird. You just said I was weird. So what's the difference? Like, let's be for real. What the fuck is the difference, right? And you can't tell people. You cannot dictate how people feel. about something. If somebody says, I don't fuck with the word weird. Please don't call me weird. Respect that shit. It's not even that serious. I don't give a fuck if you don't think the shit is serious. I don't take that shit lightly. And you need to respect that. Just like I'm gonna respect you saying you don't like when I say whatever, whatever. This, you calling me this, or you saying that I'm whatever, doesn't make me feel good. Okay, then I won't say it. It is that easy. It's that simple. Okay? Just like, even if you gotta tell yourself, I don't appreciate you. Look at yourself in the mirror. I don't appreciate you talking down on yourself. Okay, I'm sorry. I will talk more positively about myself. Do what the fuck you gotta do to make it easier for you during this process of being more positive. Like I said, these are starting points. And you will be able to, it will come more naturally and be easier for you to identify the shit the more that you do it. It will literally become second nature. Like, oh man, I really, like, you're going to be able to catch yourself automatically. I don't hate myself. I'm just really sad right now. I'm really disappointed in myself. I know I could do better. So let's do better. We'll do better. And then you keep it pushing. Okay? Don't why are you being so hard on yourself for? Okay? Or you know, that's where a lot of those self-deprecating thoughts come from. It's from your emotions. It's from you feeling a certain emotion. You don't know how to identify that emotion. So you're saying it as, I hate myself. I want to hurt myself. No, you don't. No, you don't. Now, sometimes you do. Like, I've fucking been there. But it was those overwhelming, me not being able to identify why I feel the way I feel is the reason why I felt that way. Man, I feel alone. I'm so lonely. You know? Stuff like that. Damn, we have 41 minutes. So, yeah, I think that's it. Wow. I think that's it. You have to be able to identify what triggers you, identify what emotions you're feeling when you're feeling them, identify how those triggers, like what triggers you, like identify why they trigger you and what emotions they trigger. Okay. And stop negative thoughts in the process, like right then and there. You know, at the beginning, you'll probably sit there and think about it after the fact. Man, I shouldn't say that about myself. I gotta get on. I gotta do better, right? But it will come easier with time. Like, the more you do that shit, the more you stop those negative thoughts in the process. Like, mid-thought, stop yourself mid-thought. The easier it's gonna be. The more second nature it's gonna become. I literally will do this. I don't have negative thoughts about myself like that. Not too much anymore. But it's like, you just have to be able to sit there and, like, there'll be times where it's like, oh my gosh, like, just a habit, or it's like I've regressed a little bit, or like my brain is just like will catch itself like, why would I think that? I haven't thought like that in so long. What the fuck? Like, your brain will slip up. Like, what? You and your brain gonna be shocked, like, huh? Like, I've had that happen a couple times. Whereas, like, if your brain's been wired negatively for so long and you're so used to just saying, like, oh, I want to hurt myself, or I want to, then you're going to have those times where your brain, like, goes to, like, do that and, like, have that thought. And, like, you and your brain will be like, huh? We don't even feel that way. What? So, but yeah, I think that's everything. If y'all got questions, just let me know. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna talk about next time, because I talked y'all ears off, bro. But as of right now, that's what I got. But yeah, you know, we did navigate heartbreak last time. This is changing your negative mindset to a more positive one. One last thing I'm gonna touch on with this is the company that you keep, the people that you have around you really do affect your mindset. So if you are hanging around motherfuckers who really hate themselves, who really don't give a fuck, who really, like, talk down on you, you're gonna talk down on yourself in the same way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, the company you keep really does affect the way that you think. Okay. So, but if you're around people who are more positive, they want things in life. Like they were like, of course, I'm striving for fucking straight A's. I'm striving to be this, that, and the third. They have ambitions, they got goals, they have a positive mindset, then you will shift into having a positive mindset too. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's that. Next time I may talk about self-love. Showing self-love. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out. But I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all please have a great and fantastic day. And yeah, take care. Bye.